Welcome to the Indigo Room. Tonight's topic is Indigo Adults. So we're continuing that and the traits of Indigo Adults.
Welcome to the Indigo Room. Serenity ahead.
Here we go, it's the indigo, sending the best and bliss, yes, so let's go. Bringing brainwaves to a higher plane, manifest your world, shaking the mundane. Shift thought, make moves inspired, change self-worth for words, taking you higher. Bring forth your serenity, forget words like destiny. Cause the path to choose is up to you, so make your move to find the way in you. The touch the sky will mellow high, and spirits rise and winds of change. So yes, I invite you. So come on through. See how we do in the Indigo Room, yeah.
Welcome to the Indigo Room.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Indigo Room. I am Sydney and I am a shaman. I am a student. I am a teacher and I'm a coach. I'm also an indigo. And tonight we're going to be discussing more traits of those indigo children that came up in here into the planet and who are now indigo adults. And if you resonate with any of these traits, you may very well be an indigo. We discussed last week some of the traits of an indigo. We went over some of the traits, and so we're going to continue with more. And if this resonates with you, you may very well be an indigo from the blue realm, okay? For lack of a better word. So I just want to say hello to those of you who have joined us tonight. Hi, Linda. Hi, Glow. Who else is in here? Barb. Hey, Barb. Hi, Funky. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, some of those traits that we went over last week, did any of you resonate with any of those traits? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. And we are going to tickle our amygdala really quickly before we get started because we didn't do that last week. And I do want to say, welcome to our new subscribers. Thank you for joining us here on the Indigo Room. And as you come in, remember to thumbs up the video. It really does help the algorithm. We want to get the message out there to the indigos that are out there that are flubbing around and don't realize that they're indigo, and let them know, that they have a community, they have a family that they can join. So make sure you thumbs up the video. And hey, Yaz. Welcome, Yaz. Hi. So let me know if any of what we discussed last week resonated with you, if you have any of those traits. I know I was talking to a couple of you and you said, yeah, I got all of them. So before we get started, let's do our amygdala. What is your amygdala? You have two of them. They're right above your temples. And when your amygdala is clicked closed, you are in flight or fright mode. When your amygdala is clicked open, you're feeling good, you're smiling, and all of that. Also, I want to ask you if you can hear my air conditioner. Is it too loud? Because it's hot in New York City today. And I need it in here. I need the air on. Can you hear it? Let me know if you can hear it, if it's too loud. And if it's too loud, then I'll just sweat it out, I guess. I'll just sweat it out. I also want to, before I even do the tickling of my amygdala, say thank you to everyone who celebrated my birthday this weekend. It's still my birthday weekend. It's my birthday month. Okay? I love May. May's my favorite time of year. Why? Because I get to celebrate Mother's Day. I get to celebrate my birthday, and then there's Memorial Day. So this party's all for the month of May, as far as I'm concerned. May is the best month in the world. Ah, The AC is barely noticeable. Oh, thank God. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Barb. Thank you, Glow, because, if I would have to sweat it out, I have to sweat it out. You're a young lady. Thanks, Barb. Okay, so we're going to tickle our amygdala. Oh, I forgot. I want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody that celebrated my birthday. But I also want to give a special shout out to those of you who sent me birthday gifts. Like, I was just stunned. So, Yaz, thank you very much for your birthday gift. Glow, thank you very much for your birthday gift. And Linda, thank you very much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. But I just wanted to give a special shout out to those of you that sent me gifts. Okay, so we're going to tickle our amygdala. What's your amygdala? I already explained that. And if you're walking, riding a bike, driving a car, you might want to sit this one out for a hot second. And it will help to light up your frontal lobe. Your third eye is already open, but it does help with your third eye, right? And you want to imagine that you have a feather in your hand. Imagine that you have a feather in your hand. What color is your feather? Is it long? Is it short? Is it bristly? Is it fat? Is it thin? Whatever. You get to decide what your feather is, right? And you're going to close your eyes. And this is a little bit of a brain hack. It will help you if you're having some sort of stressful moment in your reality, or you're thinking, or you're trying to figure out something. This will help you. And it's also an imagination tool. It helps you to flex your imagination skill. So if you haven't done it, try it. See if it works for you. It really does make you smile and it makes you feel good. Okay, so close your eyes. Imagine that you have the feather in your hand. Really get it in your imagination and feel it. Feel what the feather feels like. And then you're going to take your feather and just slide it right up into the center of your forehead. And then you're going to slide it over to the right and tickle your amygdala on the right. Just imagine that you're doing that. And then slide it over to the left and tickle your amygdala on the left. Take your feather out. You're done. Easy peasy. You should be smiling. Oh, you should be smiling. So did any of you resonate with some of the traits of the indigos that I shared with you last week? So we're going to go over some more traits of the indigo children, which are now adults. They're adults. You're adults now. So you may have had some experiences that were wicky wacky growing up, and you didn't know why you were feeling so different from everybody and why you were experiencing things the way you were experiencing them. That is because you are different. You're different in a good way, not in a bad way. But if nobody ever told you or you never understood what is going on, we're going to be talking about that as the weeks go on. We're going to be sharing some tools that you can use to connect with your guides specifically, because you all have them. Your indigos, you have guides that are here that are with you, that can help you move through this transition that we're going through and help you step into your power. So right now it's up to you. Excuse me, I got to get my phone and turn it off. And it's up to you to really hone in on your skills. It's up to you. Ain't nobody gonna do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. So I did a really cool. Yes, I definitely relate. But first, notice my now 25-year-old granddaughter as indigo since she was tiny. Um, she might be more of a, a rainbow child or a star seed. I mean, rainbow, yeah, or star seed, because rainbows came after the indigos. Depends on when she was born around. So she could be, an indigo, but she probably more than anything is one of the rainbow kids, just because of her age, it sounds to me. Okay, so we're going to get right into it right now. And one of the traits of an indigo is that I had to write them all down, right? I had to write them all down. So if you see me looking away from the camera, that's because I'm reading my notes, right? I had to write all the stuff down that I have learned over the course of, I don't know, 12 years, and the information that was downloaded to me, so I wouldn't forget everything. Even though I happen to have a very good memory, as I have told y'all. I remember things that make no sense, but here we go. Um, Indigos, I think we discussed this last week, but have a really high sense of oneness. Um, Oneness and connectedness. They're connected. They feel connected to a lot of to just everything, right? Um, and sometimes we really get kind of off track when others are not, like, in the same kind of oneness with things, right? And really feel ostracized by community, always trying to figure out why you're not normal, and then trying to figure out a way to kind of be normal. And it's almost like, I don't want to say, like, people look at you like you have a mental illness, and to them you kind of do, right? You may be dyslexic, right? You may have been diagnosed dyslexic. I know I have a form of dyslexia, so did my children, which I didn't know and I didn't understand it, you know, and why I have this thing with numbers. Like sometimes I will write them backwards or transpose them. And I have to be really mindful of that. And you may have some sort of organization dyslexia, or people call you dumb because the words don't show up the way that they're supposed to. And you will find that a lot of indigos are really intelligent beings, really, really highly intelligent, but they have been diagnosed dumb, stupid, because when they write, sometimes when they write, um, it's not necessarily good English. I'm saying English because I'm an English speaking person, but this depends on where you are on the planet, right? But you can read like nobody's business. Like, you can read almost at the speed of light, kind of. Um, and you do understand, but however, writing it down sometimes it gets jumbled. So that may be something that you didn't understand. That's a trait that typically belongs to this group, to our group of indigos. Um, also, you tend to have a high capacity for love. And by that, I mean that, like me, I hug everybody. I'm a hugger. I have said that many, many times before. I will listen. I just meet you, and I will give you a hug. You know, unless I feel your energy's like off-putting. Like, if I feel your energy coming at me before I meet you, then no. But typically, I'm a hugging person. And sometimes that's off-putting to people. I've had to squash that down. My younger son was like that from day one. He's also, both my children are indigos, and he would just run up to strangers and give them a hug. Child, I was like, I had to watch him though, because people be snatching children up. So I had to, I helped calm him down, but he's really he's his own person, and he was never feeling that from me. So I just let him do that, but I had to keep an eye on him, because he would just run to people and just hug the daylights out of them. But he gets that from his mother. I'm that kind of person. So I will, one time at a job interview, I finished the job interview and I said, "Love you," and I was like, "Oh my god." The person that was interviewing me looked at me and she was like, yeah, "Okay, thank you." So I always have to keep that tamped down, right? And that may be something that you are experience also. You're very sensitive. I can't even explain how sensitive you are. I had to learn how to um, be less sensitive. I used to cry at the drop of a hat. I don't. I've learned how to control that now. Um, but you could say something to me, and I would just my family used to call me the biggest crybaby because I would always I you know so you're hypersensitive, you're very sensitive, um and sometimes you're not able to decipher if these are your feelings or if these feelings belong to someone else because you're so hypersensitive. You have a tendency to absorb other people's feelings, emotions that are around you. This is why I have a hard time at funerals. I try. Um, I don't go to funerals as unless I really, 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 really have to. Right. That's why actually for me, Zoom funerals turned out to be a good thing because I could be at the funeral and I could just not necessarily absorb everybody's energy. And I would always stay away from funerals because I would absorb everybody's and it would take me out and I would have to be like I would have to be laid out for a couple of days, but you can't, right? You got to get up, you got to go to work, and you got to shake it off, try to figure out a way to shake it off. And that's why I use sage and Palo Santo wood often, because it helps me to um, clear the energies that I have taken in. And that's why meditation is so important for indigos because it does help you to and clearing your, calling on sacred flame and clearing out those energies. And we're going to talk about that too as we move along. Um, you tend to miss home. And I say that because you still may not realize where you came from, but you're it's almost like you're seeking, and I know for me, I don't know that many indigos. I just don't. Okay. I have met them over the course of time briefly during my show, but I really don't know many others like me. And that's why I'm doing this now because it's important for us to gather together and help each other. So you may feel like you're alone and you're not really. There are others like you. You just need to find them, right? You just need to connect with them. But there are indigos on this planet, um, and you're not alone, even though you feel like it. I know me growing up, not knowing the truth about who I was, I always felt alone. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, which was like, whew, I don't even know how I got in that family, but apparently I chose them, right? God bless them. I love them. But anyway, um, it was hard because everything that I was taught, right? Everything that I was taught, I would always challenge. I was one of those challenge kids, and I would get in trouble often. To the point now that they kick me out, but thank God, you know. But yeah, so you're going to feel, even as an adult now, you may feel, and you may not feel that way. Maybe you've tamped down your energies, or tamped down your experiences, and you stop looking for others that are like you. But we are here, we do exist. So you can connect with us as well. You can connect with me. The link is in the description below. You can join our group and connect with people who are like you or similar to you. And am I still in the thing? Yeah, I am. Well, indigos can be extroverts and introverts as well, but they just don't feel like, people are necessarily like them. So that's another trait of an indigo. Um, you just don't know where to look. So look here. Come to the indigo room. We're here. We're here. We're here. You have a, oh, I already talked about the hug, hugging, and you like to cuddle and hug, and you're one of those touchy feely type of people, and that can kind of get you in trouble sometimes. Like I said that to my boss, my interviewer. Did I get that job? I can't remember. No, I didn't get that job. I did not get that job. Now that I think about it, no, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't. They didn't call me back. I was like, oh my god, I can't even believe I said that. I said, love you. And then when I walked out, I was like, what in the hell did you just do, you nut job? Couldn't help it. Came out. Um, then another thing that um, indigos are very um, you can be very disciplined when you are motivated to be, but you also can get very bored or frustrated at school. So if you were, going through school and you found, like, you were feeling like the classes weren't going quick enough for you, or this already, you don't even know how, but you just felt bored and really frustrated at school. That's another trait of an indigo. You get bored very easily. I know for me, I'm like that at work, and I was like that as a kid too, growing up, but mostly at work as an adult. I would, no matter what job I take, I will throw myself in, I'll be motivated to do a great job. I'm loving it, have a great time, and I will learn everything I need to learn about that position. But once I get bored and there's nothing else for me to learn, I can't stay there. I gotta go. And so I tend to look unstable to most people on the outside, right? They'd say, oh, I used to be called a wackadoodle. She's a wacko, unstable, um, can't settle down. Um, that's because I would be somewhere or do something and learn everything I can learn about it. And once I've learned everything I can learn about it, and there's nothing else to learn, like, why am I here? Like, what am I doing here? Why am I still here? I have to leave. I gotta go. Gotta find something else to do. And I had to learn how to, which kind of like choked the daylights out of me, really, emotionally, physically, mentally. Um, how to just stay at a place that I was never happy at. Like in the beginning, like I said, I am always the star at my job. No matter what I do, I'm the star there. I'm fabulous at it. Okay, and as an indigo, you probably have tons of skills. You have so many skills, and then you get confused because you're trying to figure out, well, which one should I take? Which one should I do? Use them all. Use them all. Now's the time to use them all. But anyway, this is what would typically happen to me. So you may have experienced that as well, and you may find that, I'm not looking at the chat because I don't want to get distracted, but I'm going to come back to the chat in a little bit. But you may find that about yourself. And, people would say, I don't understand. I don't understand her. She's really smart. She's really intelligent. Yep, I am. But I also know that, I can't keep doing this for the rest of my life. What? What? No. I didn't know why I felt that way until I started to figure out I was an indigo. And I had these traits. Then it all started to make sense, right? And as I studied and as I learned and as I grew, I found, holy moly, I'm really not a nut job. Well, maybe I am a little bit, but so you may find that to be your experience also. And again, you may, as an indigo, this is more typical of men, the male indigos, but females too have a tendency to be a kind of person that bucks the system, right? Or authority. And again, you look crazy. You look to other people who don't understand you. And you may even look that way to yourself because you don't understand that you're an indigo and how to use your skills and what you came here to do. And so, you're not used to these authority figures coming at you. And that's why school sometimes, being at school can feel very stifling, or being at a job where you have a boss who's, or a manager who's really not good at what they do in managing people. And you really are good at managing people or helping people to grow and to learn and to excel in their positions. But you're not the manager. Somebody else is the manager. And you butt heads. Butt heads with all managers. Just saying. And oftentimes you feel you're smarter than those. And you may be, but you have to figure out a way to, kind of navigate this terrain that we're on, this 3D terrain in the earthly plane. We already went over the forms of dyslexia that you may have and reading. So we already did that one. Okay, I think we talked about this last week, but I'm just going to touch on it a little bit. Like, when somebody's lying. You have this innate sense about it. You know that you know that you know. Nobody else knows, but you know. You know, and it often irritates you and frustrates you because nobody else around you can see the fraud, but you can see it really clear. You're trying to tell people, and everybody's like, "Oh, Sydney, what are you talking about?" No, I think you're wrong. Like, you have this innate ability to know, and then when you share it with others, they start to make you question what you know, and sometimes that throws you off. But trust yourself on the inside, right? I had to learn to do that. I had to learn to stop saying to people, well, look, this person is this person, and they're not telling the truth, right? Why? Because 9 times out of 10, people will try to talk me out of it. And so now I don't even go there. I know that I know. And if I feel like you are interested in knowing, then I'll share that with you. But if you're not, if I don't get an inkling or feeling from you, I'll just leave it alone. I'm not fighting you now, right? So you have this unbelievably uncanny ability to know when somebody is lying to you. And use that, though. Use that for good. Stop trying to get everybody to see your point of view, right? To see it your way. Just take notes, like I do now. I just take mental. I just write. Okay, so I gotta watch out for so and so because they're not telling the truth about A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This one also is probably uh, used to get me into a lot of trouble growing up as a kid. Um, I always, and I still do, I always need to understand why, right? I always have to figure out the why. And growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, that was a problem for me, right? This whole religion thing was a problem for me. And so when I got kicked out at 20, and then I started bouncing around to different religions trying to figure out what where am I supposed to fit in, or whatever. I would always ask why. Like, I'd open up the Bible and say, why does it say this in there? How come you guys are not doing this? Why does it? Why? You're a wire. Um, and you always have this need to know why. It's just the why, right? And I have journals and journals and journals and journals of why. Like, when I sit with my guides and sit with them and they tell me something, I'm going, okay, but why? How come? Why? You have to explain this better to me so that I can fully understand it and accept it. Like, I don't just take what they say and go, okay, yes, my guides told me A, B, C, D, F, G, and that's the truth. What? No, I am the wire. You probably are too. I question them all the time. Like, what? You want me to do what? Nah, I'm not gonna, you got to tell me why. You got to give me a reason. And if it's not explained to you properly, right? If it's not explained to you the way that it makes sense to you, you probably are just gonna, you're probably just gonna go like, yeah, no, I gotta go. And how many times I've done that? I used to ask my parents, so are we Jewish? Are we the chosen people? Are we Hebrew? Because, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that they're the only ones that are going to survive Armageddon. So, we read in the Bible and it's talking about the Hebrews are the chosen people. And I was like, are we Hebrew? One time I got smacked in the back of my head during the Kingdom Hall meeting because I didn't understand that. And I was like, so Dad, are we Hebrew? Because that's what they're saying in the Bible. Bible says that the Hebrews are the chosen people. Are we Hebrew? So you definitely are the kind of person that always wants to know why. Why is this? Why is that? How does you know? Like, I used to take apart things and try to figure out what makes them work. How does this work? Why? Um, you may have been accused of cheating at school because sometimes you do stuff and you do it in your head. And then you can't really explain how you came to your reasoning or your answer. Maybe that happens to you at work. Maybe you're a programmer and you can pick up on these concepts really quickly. And people can't even understand how you're doing that because you're able to do these calculations in your head really quickly. Like in the blue realm, before you got here, some of you were like these amazing mathematicians. You brought that skill along with you. And nobody taught you, right? Like you just get it. There's a lot of skills that are like that. Many of you have many skills that you're not using right now that you came here with. And you tamp down those skills or you tried to repress those skills or you held those skills in because you look weird to people. You looked otherworldly to people. And it made them afraid. And so you may have even been afraid of your own self. There's no need to be. And now's the time for you to step on out into your power. Also, many of us have the gift of healing. And by that, I mean that you can literally touch somebody. You feel that energy and you can do a healing on people and help them either energetically, emotionally, mentally, or physically. And like nobody taught you this. It's innate in you, and you have this ability to do that. You should really pay attention to that if you're that kind of an indigo. Many of us have that gift. Um, my gift of healing is through words. It's not so much the laying of hands. Some of you have that ability. Um, but if you do, really start to lean into it. Lean into your gifts. Again, we talked about the telepathic abilities that many of you have. And I want to say also that a lot, if not all indigos are highly creative. Highly, 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 highly creative. Either through art or spoken word or writing or um, even in your jobs, that may seem mundane, you find a creative way to be able to do it and help others to do their jobs better. Or if you're a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, you're real creative, with your children. um, you may be like you have all of these traits as an indigo, right? It's not just like you have one or two of these traits. Like if you're an indigo, you got all of these traits. You are creative. You may make jewelry. You may make really abstract art that nobody seems to get, but you get it, and other people get it, and and lean into your gifts. Just lean into them. Like start doing that. Start doing that stuff now. Really, don't hold back because in your creativity is a message, and we need you now. We need you here to um, step into your indigo blue realm power and bring that here to the planet. Um, let's see. This is something that um, goes to the males mostly. You may not be interested in aggressive sports. does nothing for you. You may love video games too. Like I love video games, even at my age. Now that I'm 60 years old, I already told y'all. But you really just are not really that interested in the somebody's maybe pushing you to do that, pushing you to like it, and you just, because you want to be part of the group, you want to be part of the crowd, or you want to just feel normal, but it does nothing for you. And that's just for the men, mostly for the men. You may have some females that are interested in football and it's, are acting like they're interested in it because, that's the norm, or they're acting like they're interested in aggressive sports. And it's not just football, any kind of aggressive sports, you may not really feel it, but you're doing it anyway. And you act like you love it, but you really don't. You also may find that you have huge bouts of depression. And I would suggest, of course, always suggest that you speak to a medical professional. However, it may be because you tamped down all of your uh, indigo-ness, and you're feeling, lost and afraid and alone, because you can't find anybody that gets you or understands you. And I'm here to tell you that I get you and I understand you. And some of us have either attempted to leave prematurely, or have left the planet prematurely because of that. I know I have attempted to leave prematurely. And if you're feeling that, right, of course, you always want to reach out to um, the places that are available for you. Always reach out, grab a hold, call the 800 number, talk to someone, talk to a friend before you decide to leave prematurely. Um, because you do have help and you do have gifts. And, you know, a lot of us have, you know, chosen to quell the energy down by drinking alcohol or excessively, or becoming addicts, or leaning on drugs and doing things just to, because you don't understand the energy that you're in, and that nothing is making sense or nothing has made sense over the years. So I encourage you to reach out to a professional, right? But understand that you're not alone, and um, you are this way, but it's not a bad thing. And if you just hang on one more day, you may find this video. I don't know. And hopefully that'll encourage you to hang on one more day and seek the professional help, and know that you're not by yourself. And you often, you feel like you're an alien here. So, I don't want you to feel that way. We are here. Indigos are here. This is the home of the Indigos. You can come to the Indigo Room. Again, there's a link in the description below if you want to connect to like-minded individuals like us. It's a link down in the description. It's free to connect, and just check it out down there. Okay. Also, you may find that the family that you were born into, the family that you were raised in, the family that you chose to come into, might have been the most abusive family, or neglectful family, or emotionally, um, bereft. And here you are, this big ball of light and this loving individual, and they didn't get you either. And many of us came into these places so that we could learn our skills and hone our skills. And I don't want to say that it was a good thing, because a lot of it wasn't, right? A lot of it was not good. And I just want to encourage you to reach out again to us here in the Indigo Room and know that you are loved. There's a great amount of love here for you, truly. And you may feel broken, and you may feel lost, confused, tired, angry, frustrated, um, and with all of the abilities that you have, and nobody gets it. We get it. There's somebody here that gets it. So just know that you are loved. Okay. And I have a lot of love for you. And I'll give you a hug if you want me to. Virtual hug, but I'll give you a hug. All right, now I'm going to look at the chat, because I went over enough for tonight. And let's see what we got going on here. All right, so let me go back. Wow, there's a lot. There's a lot going on in the chat, yo. Okay, so I got up to, Linda said, yes, I have many of those traits. Barb said rainbow works. Yeah, she's probably a rainbow kid. Always that was me. Didn't help that my mother always said, why can't you be like the other girls? Well, that's, she was mean. Even told to find incorrigible number of things. Hug her here too, but only if I feel it. I'll be hugging everybody, I swear. I'll be hugging everybody. I'll be hugging everybody. I hug the dog, the cat. I'm a hugger. Even in Second Life, I'll be hugging the avatars that walk around. I'm like, oh, let me give you a hug. Hi. And I will send hugs, right? I send hugs on Facebook. I said, hugs. If you ever message me, it's hugs. I'm very sensitive. Cry at all Disney shows every Sunday night, and cry when picking up on other people's emotions. Sensitive, hypersensitive. I don't know many either, so sometimes friends seem indifferent to me. Yeah. I had a few friends growing up. I had lots of animal friends, though. I'm also an introvert. You can be an extrovert and be an indigo. Linda, I've become sometimes extroverted introvert, mostly because I had to pretend for a radio, but it can be exhausting. Daydream got yelled at for not paying attention. Okay. Extroverted introvert. Exhausting in the past, knocking me out for the weekend. So, right, Sydney, work had to have at least 25% new stuff, and if not, I found another job. I was always having to find another job. I'll bet it took 3 people to do the work you did. Sometimes it took 10. I've had quite a few jobs: administrative assistant, welder, phlebotomist, on and on. Different because it was my own show and we're a good fit. Oh, radio. Big intuition. Buck the system. I always worked in non-female jobs: machine shop, print shop, casting shop. Okay. Oh yeah, I know when someone's lying. I'm a big wire. Comes in handy in the medical professions. Oh, that's good. That's good. Funky. All this sounds like my son, and he's 10, Sydney. He probably is, again, a rainbow child. He's probably a rainbow. But he could be an indigo. I think the indigos stopped coming in, though. I'm a big wire, comes in handy. Oh, I did that already. You're too young to know how to do that. Yeah, right? Get that often. My husband told me I was a healer. So much came naturally, but for my own self, not as easy. You may need to go to somebody who's an indigo. Yep, healing is always something I could do either by listening and then make a suggestion, remote healing, and in person healing also with animals. Yeah. Uh, Give me a padlock and I can tell you the combination sometimes. Certain things I just know, but I know, but not consistently. Okay. Barb, yes, healing ourselves doesn't seem as easy. I have been called an animal whisperer. Linda, you know how much loving them can do. I seem to find animals in trouble or they find me. Well, look, the bird landed on my shoulder, right? I always have that thing with animals as well. Cool, Bob, like that fox that stayed at your place for several days. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Tried to leave when I was 15 and almost succeeded. Saw myself laying on the bed, out of body. I was up at the ceiling looking down. Yeah, Barb, I've had that out of body experience being up in the ceiling looking down at my body. I was scared and popped out of my body for a few minutes and then popped in. Well, we're going to talk about that too and coming up episodes, but I wanted to make sure that you all grounded yourself. And thank you for your comments, even though I breezed through them. Thank you for your comments and for sharing. That might help somebody else who listens to the broadcast after we're done. Um, but I do want to encourage you to continue to ground yourselves. If you haven't done that already, please make sure that you do that. How do you ground yourself? Well, that means, and why? That means that number one, because you're indigo and you tend to go out here, right? You go out into the, what's going on with my eyebrow here? You go out into the ethers, right, in your thought process. And what is going on with my my eyebrow? But you go out into the ethers, and this helps to keep you grounded. And the more you ground, the better you will be able to adjust your own energies here so that you can do the work that you need to do here. And it's sort of like an anchor. It doesn't keep you here, but it helps you to not be just so airy fairy that you're no good to anybody and all jumbled all over the place. So grounding is really good for indigos. And how do you do that? You step outside, you go outside, no shoes on, put your feet on the ground, and imagine the energies coming up from Gaia, and imagine the energies coming in from spirit, from source, from home, and do an exchange of energy back and forth. And just really feel the earth, right? Close your eyes, feel the earth. Sometimes you may need to be near a tree. Um, it's called grounding because it helps you to not stay in place, but stay in place in your thought process. Helps organize your thought processes, so you're not all over the place all the time. Um, and doing that now more than ever is really important. It's really important to ground yourself as an indigo adult and use your skills that you have, that innately that you have, And it's time now for you as an indigo adult to stand in your power, trust that you came here for a reason, and use your powers for good. Okay? So next week, next video, we'll be back and we'll be going over some more uh, indigo traits and not just traits, but how to um, use your skills that you do have and how to connect to your guides. So we're going to be going over a lot of those different topics, and I'm just glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're on the planet. I'm glad that you're still here, because if you are listening to this video, that means you're still here. You're still here. And that is a good thing. And you can reach out to me at the indigoroom.org or send an email to the Indigo Room 2. It's coming across the bottom screen there, at gmail.com. Do you have any of these traits that we discussed this week and last week? If you do, leave a comment down below. How are you experiencing your indigo energy? Leave a comment down below. Did you know you were an indigo child? Leave a comment down below. Are you an indigo adult now? Leave a comment down below, and I will definitely respond back to you. Remember to like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will be back on the next video. So remember who you are. Remember that you are source energy right here in a physical body. Remember that you can be, do, and have anything that you desire. And remember, it's not being extraordinary that makes you unique. It is your uniqueness as an indigo that makes you extraordinary. And I will see you on the next video. So have a great night. And guess what? I love you. Hugs. Hugs. Hugs, hugs.